I'm just waiting for the Juan Soto's been traded to the Yankees notification. That's all. That's all this kid from the Bronx wants. That's all I want.
No. We're not getting that one. We don't need that one.
I think it's
Uh,
inevitable. I think you should embrace inevitability.
is there something, because I've seen you yelling at, I don't even know if you're yelling at anyone. I don't know that there's anyone out there who's like, we don't need Juan Soto. I don't know if that person exists, but
Oh, there's
I
one
see.
person. It's one.
Is
There's
it
one
Hal?
person that I've seen. John
Okay.
Heyman. One person.
Okay.
One
What's
person.
his
And I was gonna
what's his
get there.
angle?
I didn't think we were gonna start here.
You brought him up.
No, yeah, I was gonna get to the whole Bellinger Soto business, but I didn't know we were gonna lead off the show with it. And yes, I brought it up. Yes, you're correct. And listen, if the Yankees, if it ever came out, and let's say they signed Cody Bellinger, that's the inevitable of all of this, right? That's the alternative, right? If it ever came out that they were just like, nah, we're out of the Juan Soto trade market because Cody Bellinger is there. I might legitimately retire being a fan of the team. That's how egregious
You've
that
already done it
is.
once.
Excuse me.
You've already retired from one team.
Two gave up the
Oh, the
Jets last
Knicks.
weekend. I'm
No, I was
retired.
thinking of the Jets. Yeah, the Knicks.
Uh,
I
oh
know.
yeah,
I don't think you
I'm
were
off
ever
the
a.
I'm off the narcotic. Congratulate me to clap. I'm off the narcotic, but listen, Juan Soto is a 157 OPS plus bat, 294, 491, 524 for his career, 33 home runs, 100 RBI per 162. The other dude won an MVP 6 years ago. Great. Was good 2 years after that. Was so bad the Dodgers were like, no, we're not going to tender you. And then had a renaissance season with the Cubs last year, where if you look under the hood, there's a lot of alarming shit there. That's like, oh yeah, I don't know if this is sustainable. Hard hit rate, barrel rate, all of that other stuff, and just the idea of signing Cody Bellinger is whatever, dude. As I've said on this program, if they sign him, shrug. This idea that he's some surefire guy is insane. Stop. It's not based on reality. If you want to say he's going to be good, fine. I don't fucking know. Neither does anybody else. I have no idea. Cody Bellinger could sign here and be rich man's Harrison Bader. That's legitimately within the range of outcomes. Or he could stink, or he could be MVP. We've seen all of this happen before.
Even when he stinks, he's still elite defensively
Right, right.
at
But Yankee
at a
fans are not
very
trying to hear that.
important position and the least important position. Again, I'll say it every time he comes up. I've never seen a center fielder slash first baseman in my life. I don't know
Yeah,
that I'll see it again. It's a very strange
right,
toolbox to have.
right. But like Yankee fans are not trying to see. Well, at least they claim they're not trying to see another, high defense, minimal or average bat guy. Like I watched the Harrison Bader years. I watched them, and Harrison Bader hit like 15 postseason home runs, and nobody cared because he came in the next season and his bat looked exactly like it did before he got here, which was average, or in his case, below average. If Cody comes here and he's a 105 OPS plus bat and he's making $25 million, nobody's going to be happy with it. And the thing is, we've seen this for multiple years, and he's injury prone on top of that. So he's not a surefire thing. If they sign him, fine. But stop acting like he's a surefire thing. The thing is, he is the seven at the bar full of threes. That's the free agent market right now. Like Otani, the realistic free agent market, because Otani's there, the Yankees are not
Sure.
signing, right? Of the bats, there's nothing else there that anybody's like, man, I feel great about signing that guy. There's nothing like that there.
I'm going to pull up the athletic list in a second because there's a decent amount of guys I'd be pretty thrilled with just hitting wise. And Bellinger, yeah, he's had some dog shit seasons, and a lot of
Yes,
that's because of injury. He's still rocking a career 120 OPS plus. So even with those, how low did it go during those years? Like
I
in
mean
the
the last 4
80s?
years he's at a 93 OPS plus in total. The last
He
4 years,
was in 21, he rocked a 44 OPS plus,
insane.
and in 22, he doubled that up basically to an 81. And sandwiched around that in 2020, which was a fake year, but he played that whole season. He had a 112 over 56 games. Last year, he had a 133. So that 133, if you remove 21 and 22, I understand you can't do that. But knowing he was legitimately injured, I feel like I'm just going to take him out. His true healthy years, we're looking at 143, 120, 167, 112, 133. So it's around his career average. That 120 is pretty, it paints a pretty accurate picture in my eyes.
And that's a fair viewpoint. But I'll take that coming from you, reasonable Red Sox fan. I'll take that coming from you. Like the Yankee fan base, I'm not trying to hear from them. They're still mad the Yankees acquired Frankie Montas, bro. And the Yankees gave up nothing of consequence.
Nothing.
They gave up J.P. Sears, Ken Waldichuk, and a whole bunch of other people who have done nothing since.
Right.
And they're still mad about it because he's injury prone. Okay, then why the fuck do you want to? Why the fuck do you want to pay $200 million for Cody Bellinger then?
Yeah, I mean,
Y'all
it's
can't be the
fair.
same people.
I didn't realize it was Heyman who you were yelling at this whole time. That makes it much funnier. But is there a price for you where you would say, no, actually, we can't. Well, let's just try and sign him as a free agent next year. Not like obviously everyone in the world wants Juan Soto. I get that, but in terms of trade price, not even necessarily what you guys are sending out, but if they're trying to staple you, Darvish, and some of these other contracts to it, does it get to a point where you're like, this isn't even worth it anymore?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't even know how to expound. It's just simple. No, it ain't my money. Now, obviously, I get it. The Yankees operate how they operate, and that would hamstring them potentially going forward. But all of the dudes that they could attach are at least useful. So it's like, all right, yeah, Yu Darvish will be signed to like age 58. Yeah, okay, that's a problem. Understood. I'm assuming the Padres would be paying some of that, and he's still a useful pitcher. The Yankees need those, so I wouldn't be. The only thing that would stop me is like, all right, we have to have Jason Dominguez. Okay, you could go kick rocks then.
Right.
That's the only thing that would stop me altogether.
That's where it's like, because I think in the Padres' minds, they're trying to thread this needle that may be unthreadable, where they're trying to offload at least one contract like Darvish, like Xander, while also acquiring a Dominguez. I wouldn't be shocked if Volpe is someone they were looking at as well.
That's exactly that was reported today. Like they were looking at they asked about Volpe and Dominguez. They asked about both of them.
Well, there you go. So if it's just Volpe and Dominguez for Soto, no other albatross contract, is that something you're saying yes to?
No.
That's insane.
No. Who the fuck are they bidding against? Who are they bidding against?
What do you mean?
Who are they bidding against?
You think that only the Yankees want Juan Soto? Is that what?
No, I think everybody's going to offer them the same bag of bullshit. It's going to be that's what I think. I don't think this is not a Yankees are the only person in the clubhouse type of deal. I'm not saying that, but who is offering something so good that you have to give up Volpe and Dominguez? Who?
The Dodgers could empty out their prospect hall if they're
the Dodgers are signing Ohtani. They
might not. If they're like, hey, why don't we just get Soto instead? We don't know where Ohtani's going to sign. There's nothing known about Ohtani. You sent me a tweet earlier today. I don't even know. I've decided I'm not going to react to any Ohtani news until I see him on the podium holding up his new jersey. Because after last season, Correa signed with every team in the league. He only played for the fucking Twins. He re-signed. He didn't even sign with anyone new. He went to the team he was already fucking at. So until Ohtani's holding up a jersey, I'm not reading or believing anything. And that's not like, optimism. I do not believe he's coming to the Red Sox. I don't. But it's one of those things where it's like, until he's somewhere, I'm not believing anything.
Right. Now the Dodgers could legitimately just take a left turn and be like, all right, let's get ourselves involved. Now, on the flip side, do I think the Padres are trading him to the Dodgers? No. So I think that's the whole wrinkle in it. I don't think they're trading him to the Dodgers. And also, I don't think the Dodgers are going to give them an offer sweet enough to make them be like, all right, fuck the fact that he's in the division. Here's Juan Soto, and you could sign him to a 10-year deal. Now he's going to haunt us for the next decade. So I just don't think that that's going to happen. Sure, somebody could come out of nowhere and take him. I'm not under any delusions that Juan Soto is guaranteed to be a Yankee. Please don't get me twisted. I'm not. a surprise team coming out of nowhere is always possible.
I
But
don't know that there
yeah,
can be a surprise team here because, much like Otani, there's only such a small pool of teams who could legitimately retain him long term. And no
right. That's
one's
the problem.
trading for
Right.
Juan Soto for 1 year of Juan Soto. That's lunacy.
Hmm. Right. And that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point. The market for him is affected directly by that, and he's not signing a contract extension. I think that's unless you want to come out and give him $600 million, he ain't signing no contract extension when you trade for him. You're gonna have to sign him in the offseason. That's how that's gonna go.
I don't know if
Because
that's true either.
when was the last time a high profile Boris client signed an extension before he could hit free agency? Asking that genuinely.
Xander. I know Xander did.
Xander did. Okay,
Yeah.
he's a Boris client. I had no idea. Okay, fair. Now with Xander, I think it's a little bit different. He was comfortable in a place, and he just
Sure.
wanted to stay there.
Sure. I
Soto
don't
would be switching places and all of that. I think it's a little bit different.
He'd be switching, but I don't know that a team is doing this trade without having some sort of conversation with him. I know
Oh, of course.
Mookie's not he might be a Boris guy. Who even fucking knows? He signed with the Dodgers like the second he could, kind of, when he got
Mhm.
there. Like, he got traded
Right.
there, the world shut down. Once he finally got around the Dodgers, he signed a deal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that there wouldn't be some sort of agreement in place ahead of time. Like, we're trading for you. And again, it's premier teams. It's not, I was gonna say the Diamondbacks, they were just in the World Series. I'm still gonna say the Diamondbacks. It's not the fucking Diamondbacks trading for him.
That's
You know,
so disrespectful.
yeah, it's not.
Honest and true, but it's disrespectful.
Like, it's going to be Dombrowski could do it. He doesn't give a fuck about prospects. And if you talk about arms, I know they can still dangle Mick Abel and some other guys like that if that's
Right.
truly what the Padres want. I wouldn't rule out there's no. I'm sure Padres fans feel differently. There's no Padres Dodgers rivalry. That's not a thing. If I were to rank all the rivalries in baseball, that would be like 40th. Like, that's not a thing. That's not a rivalry. I'm sorry. I know it's in the division. I'm sorry. That's not a rivalry.
They would disagree with you. You're right on that.
Padres fans would, Dodgers wouldn't. They'd be like, "You're right, that's not a rivalry."
Yeah, with that said, like they're not. I can't see them doing business with each other on such a high level front.
I think if the
But
Dodgers are emptying out their prospects, which is also not how they operate, but I could see them being like, "Hey, we're not going to give you a Dominguez and Volpe match necessarily, but we'll give you these guys and also eat Darvish." Whereas if the Yankees are only offering one or the other, then it becomes more
that's fair.
beneficial for the
That's
Padres.
fair. If somebody else is willing to eat more money, that throws a whole wrench into the
Right.
equation. But with that said, if the Yankees give up Volpe and both of them for Juan Soto, something went terribly wrong somewhere. Something went terribly wrong somewhere if
But
they do that.
would you even it doesn't even sound like you'd give up just Dominguez.
No, that's different. Of course, I give up Dominguez. It's both of
Okay.
them. Like if you're asking me one of them, I will pack their shit myself and they could
Okay.
go. Like
All right.
if it's just one,
It
yeah,
sounded
no.
like Dominguez was untouchable, and to me, like, obviously the
I
kid looks
think he
nice.
borderline is, but if you're telling me that we're on the phone, we're at the 1 yard line, hey, it's Dominguez or Soto or nothing, or I'm trading him to Chicago or Seattle or wherever the fuck else. I'm just gonna be all right. We can find another high profile outfield prospect. Juan Soto is who we.
His name's Juan Soto. He's 4 years older than Jason Dominguez.
I was gonna get there. I was like, yeah, I'm talking about prospects as if Juan Soto is not 25 years old. Yeah,
Right.
basic. Yes, exactly. You hope that Juan Soto on his best day could be a quarter of what Juan Soto is.
Right.
So, yeah,
Yeah. The way you started off, it sounded like you're saying Dominguez was untouchable, but we did find your point where you'd say no is both of them.
yeah, more or
That's
less.
insane. I think that's insane, but
Of course you would. Of course you would think that's
we're
insane.
talking about Juan Soto. Anthony Volpe can only hit for half a season after he has a good meal. Like, this is not a player you say is untradeable.
Listen, put it this way: if this was the first time Juan Soto got traded, whole different conversation.
Sure. Yeah. You get 3 years
1,000%.
of control.
I would
Yeah.
have drove them to the airport myself, both of them.
When
The
Dominguez
first
was
time,
12, yes, I can.
fine. More or less. Yeah, the first time that they got traded, like, okay, fine, bro, have them both. Now, one of them One of them is a Gold Glover. I'll shamelessly
Brother.
throw that one out there. One of them is a Gold Glover. He's a legitimate elite defensive player. This is not a fake Gold Glove. He was an elite defensive player. Go look up the metrics. Don't bother me. Go look up the metrics. Thank you.
Bronze arm, Gold Glove.
Fair. Fair. He got the Mac Jones arm. Fair. Can't argue.
That's disrespectful. That's very disrespectful. Me? That's disrespectful to Volpe.
All right. We're not going to derail the program. Jason Dominguez has got 5 years of team control, or 5+ years of team control left, and whatever. We know the deal with Jason Dominguez, really high level prospect. Blah blah. Listen, if you had to give up Dominguez, fine. If it's just Dominguez and some bullshit filler, sure. I love you, Jason. Wish you the best. Goodbye. Enjoy San Diego. All of that. Yeah.
His best case scenario is still not as good as Soto is, and that's no disrespect. Like, that's not a thing of disrespect.
I agree. We have very different perspectives on what his market is, and that's what leads to our disagreement here.
No, it's not necessarily what his market is. I'm more arguing what it could be, not like you're arguing from a place like, why should the Yankees bid? And it's like, there are other teams that
no. Why should they bid that highly? Who are they outbidding?
I was asking if there was a no that could be, because you've been so gung-ho about Juan Soto. I was like, is there any price that's too much?
Oh, yeah.
We found one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. As I said, the context is what forms my opinion here. The Padres are in a corner, and they got to fight their way out of it. And again, they got to fight their way out of it, given the context of there's not a lot of teams that's going to be willing to pay him the $35 million to get an arbitration, for one. And for two, as you said, somebody's not going to trade for Juan Soto and not want to extend him. Who the fuck got $500 million? There's only been so many teams that got that and are willing to play ball in this kind of trade.
Sure.
So it's who are we bidding against? If somebody else gets involved, if 2 or 3 other teams, let's say alternate universe, the Dodgers don't sign Ohtani, and the Mets are just like, hey, Juan Soto's great. That sounds like a great idea. And they both throw their hat in the ring. Yeah, she could get nasty from there. Yeah, 100%.
The Mets would make me nervous, and we'll talk about the Mets in a minute. The Mets would make me nervous only because they now have this surplus of prospects that I don't think they really give a fuck about, that they acquired at the deadline and could make a move like this and pay the contract like in cash that day. Like, they're like, if you're going to play here for 12 years, you're going to get all of it today. You're going to get all $550 today. And he's like, sick. This is awesome. That wouldn't shock me in the slightest. There's also like, there's a team that's somehow been the most active this offseason. They're coming off of like a truly dog shit year for their standards. They've won some of the most World Series non-Yankee division. The Cardinals have some money coming off the books these next 2 years. They're between Goldschmidt and Arenado's still there for a while, but they're already talking about moving him.
Mm-hmm.
They've had all of their franchise icons retire these last 2 seasons. They've gone out, they've signed Lance Lynn. They got another pitcher who's escaping me at the moment. I wouldn't be shocked if
Sonny Gray.
Did he go? He went to St. Louis. Yeah, that's what I couldn't remember.
Yep.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if they were a team, if they put like a Jordan Walker. I know they have that shortstop who throws like 700 miles an hour.
Mason Wynn, yeah.
Yeah, Mason Wynn. If they put that kind of package on the table and they're like, hey, we love old pitchers, give us Yu Darvish too. They have the pockets where they could pay Juan Soto. They just don't do it all that frequently. But that wouldn't necessarily shock me if they were like, hey, we're tired of this dip we've taken. Let's just go out and get this guy. He's still young. We still have other prospects. We still have other young players. They could also put, like, they've got these 4 outfielders / second basemen that they've been trying to get rid of one of. If they put one of those...
Buddy, let me tell you, I am very tired of hearing about those rumors to the Yankees. Like, Brendan Donovan is cool. Like, if you were to get him, great. Oh, could the Yankees get Dylan Carlson? He has 3 years of team control. I don't give a fuck how many years of team control. He's ass, and he's been ass since he got into the major league, man. Knock it off.
When people lead with team control, That's a tough sign. That's a
Yeah,
real tough sign.
right.
It was
Like
like last year when the Blue Jays got Varsho for Moreno, and it was just
yes,
like, yeah, they traded their best catcher of the three, but they got an outfielder with a lot of team control. I was like, who gives a fuck? You should trade one of the other catchers.
and Varsho is legitimately one of the best defenders in the sport. You could have started off with
Sure,
that. Like he's
sure,
legitimately like I wouldn't have made the trade personally. I don't believe in his bat,
right.
but you have something there to point out. Like, hey man, here it is, great defender. Dylan Carlson, and mind you, the Cardinals didn't even want to put him on the table for Soto the first time, which, buddy, that's one of the most insane things I have ever heard or read. They're not willing to include Dylan Carlson. What? I'd rather you just fake put Dylan Carlson out there just to say you did it, as opposed to yeah, I know my team is stupid. If I'm a Cardinals, but like I know my team is dumb.
When guys are prospects, they've come up through your system. You start to fall in love with what they can be. I'm as guilty of it as anybody. So I don't hate that. But right now, they could put an Edman, a Carlson, they could put any of these fucking guys on the table if the
Yeah,
Padres want not just prospects, but one major league caliber player, whether or not they're
right.
that good or not. They could get interesting here. So it's like people talk about the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers. The Cubs are becoming a little giantsy in my eyes. Like they
Yeah,
will get a player. Like they got Dansby last year. They said they were going to sign every shortstop. They got one of them. So I can't say they're full Giants
right.
because the Giants will be like whoever's number one we're getting, and that hasn't happened since they fucking signed Barry Bonds. But at the Cubs, I don't know where they get into all these rumors from because they don't really land anybody. They got Saya 2 years ago. They got Dansby last year, and they got Stroman and all that too. So it's not like they come up completely empty, but they never hit what they're projected to hit in
They
terms
never
of
hit the grand
spending
slam. Like they never hit the
ever.
grand slam. Now, I think until proven otherwise, I think a lot of it is eyewash. A lot of it's like, oh yeah, we're in on this person, we're in on that person. There's a lot of it's just like trying to appear busy when you're not actually busy.
Sure,
I kind
sure,
of feel like that's what this is with the Cubs until proven otherwise. I think they are a legitimate threat for everybody because they are a legitimate threat to just say, all right, you tell us when to stop and we'll
it's
stop whenever you want. I think they're a legitimate threat to just over fucking pay. So I think they are a threat. But until somebody signs there, I'm just gonna be like, until somebody the upper echelon signs, I'm just gonna be like, what are we doing here? Until they do it,
right.
just what is this? And the Giant stuff is just we've been doing this. I feel like we've been doing this shit since we were both teenagers. Every year, the Giants are gonna do X, the Giants are gonna do Y, and they never do shit. Like the
Ever.
one guy they signed, they didn't actually sign.
That had to have pissed off some other agents too. Starting that, like they know agents will keep going back to the Mets. They know Cohen will pay. The Giants, they had to sign that contract in order to be taken seriously. I don't care if Correa's legs fell off. You have to finish that deal. You finally got someone to agree to come there, and you back out the day of the press conference. I,
Insane,
I
insane
can't,
turn of
but
events.
like I can't imagine Shohei Ohtani's like this is where I need to be. Like I just can't picture it at all.
Me either. I don't know what Shohei prioritizes, so who the
Not a
hell
clue.
knows? But I can't imagine him in San Francisco. So we'll see.
No, no. But the Mets are interesting. Are they going to take a step back? I still think they're going to land Corbin Burns. It just makes a lot of sense to me. I keep seeing Burns going everywhere else, and I think Stearns is just going to pull that off like rather quietly. They already are in the pitching market. They signed longtime New York Yankee Luis Severino to a 1 year, $13 million deal. This has nothing to do with Severino. I can't remember how often these 1 year kind of high AAV deals work out for really either party. For pitchers, let me add for pitchers. Obviously, we're talking about Bellinger about to cash in.
Right,
Just
right,
worked
right,
out really well for him. Worked out really well for Schwarber the year he signed with the Nationals and got traded to the Red Sox. It can work out for hitters quite well.
right.
Starting pitchers, like Syndergaard's done this. Waka kind of did it last year. He didn't really cash out even after a good year because his peripherals were real shaky.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't. I don't know who this benefits other than like the Mets if he shows up for 3/4 of the season.
I feel like if you're a starting pitcher who's signing 1 year deals, you're like halfway out. Like that's how maybe half is a slight exaggeration,
How
but
old is he? 29?
yes,
Yeah,
28, 29, one of them.
that's not the time.
He's not old, but he as he has clear durability issues, so that's a problem.
Yeah.
Clear durability issues. So I feel like once you're signing 1 year deals in this economy, like we just watched Sonny Gray get 3 for 75. No disrespect, Sonny Gray is a good pitcher, but Sonny Gray's pitched over 180 innings twice, and he's been in the league like 9 years. So, and he just got 25 mil per for 3 years, and he's like 35 years old. If you're 29 and you're getting 1 year deals, yo, you're close to being out.
It's
You
tough.
gotta really turn you really gotta turn shit around. And I like Severino. I hope he does. Your question's a good one because I don't remember the last time a 1 year deal on a pitcher turned into, hey, he got 5 years, $120 million from insert
Right.
team. I don't remember the last time that happened. So
It
I don't know.
it
Hopefully,
may have
it works out.
been it may have been Sonny Gray. What did he get last year? I assume he was a free agent last year, or was he traded to the
Mm,
Twins?
Um, I think they signed him, but
Yeah.
he spent multiple years there.
Gotcha. Okay.
That I know that he spent multiple years there.
Lance, like you'll see guys have late career renaissances, like a Lance Lynn who bounced around to a bunch of teams. But then, even then, was it the White Sox gave him or did they trade for him from the Texas? How did he get to Chicago?
Lance Lynn been on so many teams. I don't know
Most
his
of them.
path. He's been on all the damn teams. Like I forget he pitched for the Yankees all the time. He pitched for
He
the
was
Yankees
bad.
too,
Him
and he
and
was
Sonny
very
Gray
bad.
were they in the same rotation?
I'm pretty sure they were. I'm fairly certain they were. Yes,
That was not a team I was all that concerned with.
I bet.
Severino's had such a weird career. He came up when he was 21 in 2015. He was good immediately. Now he only pitched 62 innings, but he was good over 11 starts. 16, he was bad over another 11 starts, 5.80 ERA. And then 17, 18, he's an all-star both years. He goes, what's this, 33 and 14 with like a
Yes.
3.31 ERA over, and he hit 191 innings in both seasons. Like he had arrived.
Yep.
2019, he makes 3 starts. That's it. Like he's done. Like he has not been, he was fine in 22. Like there was a stretch where it looked like it might be coming back. But again, he only pitched 102 innings that year. That's not someone you can rely on when you're supposed to be not necessarily an ace, but a top of the rotation arm.
Talking about Luis Severino makes me so sad, man. It looked great in 17 and 18, as you pointed out. It looked like, yeah, he's on his way. He's a star, blah, blah, blah. And then it just, 19, he got hurt. 21, yeah, he got hurt again. The COVID year, I don't think he pitched.
He
The
didn't.
pandemic, he didn't pitch the pandemic year. And then 22, he was good, hurt, common theme. And then last year, he stunk. I think last year is kind of the outlier at this point. His fastball got really bad results. I don't know why, but apparently, like, if you believe the pitching nerd, I don't know shit about the pitching nerd side of things. Like, I know ERA, I know XFIP, I know that. When they start talking about RPMs and all that, I'm like, I'll believe. I'll take your word for it. I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about. I'll take your word for it. So I like to read and learn and be quiet when they start talking about RPMs and all of that. But apparently, his fastball like really flat. I guess that was the problem with it. Like the velocity was fine, but the shape was not. So
Sure.
apparently, physically, just as far as throwing the baseballs, he's fine. Now, what that means? Maybe the Yankees couldn't get enough out of him. I don't know. Maybe Matt Blake wasn't saying the right shit to him. I don't know. I hope it turns around for him. It's a no risk gamble. Like 1 year for $13 million. If he stinks, he stinks. Like whatever.
Right.
Cool. Like Steve Cohen wipes his ass for $13 million. Nobody cares. If he stinks, he stinks. He stinks. Cool. It's a no risk. It's a no risk maneuver for them, and he gets to stay in town. He's comfortable around here. I think it works for everybody. Hopefully, it works on the field as well.
So he was really good all of 2017. 2018, did he start the All-Star game in 18?
He might have. I know. No, no, he didn't actually. 'Cause I
Okay.
think that was the year where the game was in DC, and I remember him
Yes,
pitching the middle innings. Yeah, he didn't. He
it
didn't
was
start.
DC. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him pitching the middle innings.
Either way, I know there was an incident that happened with Luis Severino at that All Star game where an unnamed assailant, a Yankee fan, was so excited to see him. He ran up to him and just gave him an attaboy right on the ass. And he has not been the same since that incident. That was Frankie Borelli. That second half, post All Star game. So the first half, 20 games, pitched 144 Ks. He was giving up a 209, 264, 316 triple slash. Guys were hitting 580 OPS off of him. So he was shoving it down their throats. The second half, 12 games, he's getting 821 OPS against. Guys were teeing off on him. His K per nine was about the same. His strikeouts per to walks actually improved that second half. But when people were getting bad on ball, they were teeing off. He gave up 10 home runs that first half over 20 games. He gave up 9 over 12 post All-Star break in 2018. And then they get to the playoffs. He has no idea what time the playoff game starts. He gets shelled. Like, he truly has not been the same guy since that All-Star break 2018. It's been health, it's been mental, it's been a lot of things. I have no idea what to expect from him. If he had went to the Dodgers, I would have been like, he's gonna cruise. They'll fix
Oh, I'd have been
whatever's
telling
wrong
people, "Hey
here.
man, look at them Cy Young odds, baby. You see him." If he went to the Dodgers, like, "Hey man, plus 80,000." You say? I'm like, yeah, sign me up. Yeah.
The Mets, though, I just don't know. And that's not a knock on him or the Mets. It's just I don't know that they're going to be able to reclaim what was, and really only again for a year and a half.
I think the reality with Severino is probably somewhere in between last year and the year before. I know that's the most tepid, lukewarm take on the matter, but I kind of feel like that's what it is. Because he was asked last year, was good the year before. He just didn't pitch enough the year before. I think the most likely outcome is he gives them like 130 usable innings. I think that's the most likely outcome.
Yeah. I don't. There's, I think every team gets a Clay Buchholz every once in a while. And I think that's just Severino. Injuries, inconsistency. Clay Buchholz, his second start, he goes out there, he throws a no hitter. And then he doesn't start an all-star game, but he's like 11-1. I believe it was 2013. He's like 11-1. He's an all-star. I don't even think he pitches in the second half because he gets hurt. Like, there are some guys who just, like, the world won't allow them to reach their ceiling for reasons that no one can control. I'm not even trying to be funny. There's some guys who are just so snake bitten.
I know.
I think Severino's one of those guys. And I'm not like, haha, laughing at him because he's not a
No,
Yankee
I know.
anymore. But it's just like, it
Why would you
happens.
laugh at it even if he was a Yankee, man? You're just not a
Because
good
Yankee
person.
fans were like, we got our pay. Like, let's not rewrite history. When he came up, it was just like, we've got our own Pedro. That's what Yankee fans were saying. So it was easy to laugh at him when he was wearing pinstripes. Now he's got, the Mets also wear pinstripes. It's very funny. They don't get credit for wearing pinstripes. The Mets also wear pinstripes. He's wearing a different shade of pinstripes now. Not as funny. I wish him well.
You're just a bad person. Just own it. You're a bad
I don't
person.
see how.
You're a
I don't
bad
see
person.
how.
Like, you're laughing at this man's pain. That's what you're
No,
doing.
not his misfortune. Like missing.
His misfortune. I'm not laughing at
Not.
his pain. Just his bad things in life. Like, what?
I refuse to believe the universe told him that playoff game started an hour later. Like, that was not that was his fault entirely, and it will always be funny.
Laughing at that is perfectly understandable. The rest of it, not so much. That's just very funny. You just showed up to the ballpark late. That's your fault. Like, that's very funny.
He's like, man, are they practicing the national anthem? What's going on out there? And it's like, buddy, you gotta get your pants on. It's game time. Unbelievable.
Why are there so many people in the stadium?
Yeah, this is
Like, wow, this is unusual. They're here early. Like, no, you're here late, sir. That's the problem.
What a series. Like, what? What a series for that to happen.
I
All
would like
time,
that to delete that from my memory if
all
possible.
time
Thanks.
moment. When that story came out, I was like, what idiot in the Yankees clubhouse leaked that he wasn't ready? Like, how does that story get to me? That should never come across my desk. You got to keep that locked up. Like, he had a bad start. He
Bro,
wasn't even that bad, was he?
they gave up 20 runs. What do you mean? What do you mean? That was the same day. It was the same game.
No, that game. I thought that game was
Yes,
in
it was.
Boston.
That was the same game. It was game three.
Well,
They
then
gave
yeah,
up a
that's much
million runs. I
worse.
don't remember how
Yeah,
many
that'll
he
do it.
gave up, but they gave up a million runs.
He wasn't helpful then. I thought it was.
Clearly, they gave up a million runs. Yeah, clearly he was not helpful. Yes.
I thought it was game one. He showed up late too.
No, bro. It was game three at
No.
Yankee Stadium, the Yankees had a position player pitch. If you wanted to sum up the game in a sentence, the Yankees had a position player pitch that night, a playoff game
He got
at
rocked
home,
too.
and he got clapped. Right. If I'm not mistaken, I think Brock Holt hit a grand slam off of him.
I don't think it was a grand slam. It was a home
He hit
run.
for the cycle that day, didn't he? Or am I making that up?
First and only playoff cycle in history.
All right. Can we just talk about other stuff?
Well, no, I forgot it was that game. That makes it much funnier. Because he pitched 3 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned, 2 strikeouts. You know those 2 guys who struck out felt like real assholes. How?
I have that. How much do you feel like somebody goes a third of an inning, they give up 8 runs, and the one out was you striking out? How do you feel at that point?
It's gotta be tough. The boys gotta be busting your balls when that happens.
Of course, like everybody got on base except you. You were the only one who didn't. And you didn't even put the ball in play neither. Like all of us are just taking batting practice. Everybody's scoring. It's great except you. How does it make you feel?
Fucking around. He tried to lose to the Twins in his first playoff start, and the Yankees just were like, "We'll get those 3 back, no problem. Don't even sweat it."
Good times.
Unbelievable. But yeah, he's Yankees Clay Buchholz. I wish him well. I don't think the universe does. That's kind of where I'm at. Was Nola even signed the last? When did that happen? It's been 2 weeks.
That definitely happened somewhere between the last episode and this one.
All right, that pissed me off. Not because I'm happy for the Phillies, they get to keep their guy. I'm gonna keep saying this until the offseason really fucking starts. Baseball needs a start date. You need tampering. You need a bunch of signings happening at once because this shit sucks. They just gave out comeback player of the year yesterday. The season's been over for a month and a half. Why are they still giving out awards? What, like, people make fun of the NBA for having that award show night to the point where I think they've even gotten rid of it. That was better than this.
They did. I never had a problem with that. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, the nostalgia hits me a little bit because the player getting the award on the court was kind of cool. So like I can understand it from that perspective, but obviously, some old shit just dies. That's what it is. And they had an award show. We all knew, hey, tonight everybody receives their awards. I appreciate the organization in that.
Right. This, like, we pay close attention, and I still don't know when they hand out. Like, MVP hasn't been given out yet, unless I missed it.
I don't think it has it?
Right. That's insane.
Bro, we have a baseball show. We don't know, number one. And number two, you told me the comeback player of the year award was given out. Do you know when I found that out?
Just now?
8:46 p.m. Eastern. Just now. Just now. Who won it?
Liam Hendricks.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not
that
quite,
was always going to happen. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't quite DeMar Hamlin hours, but because he actually plays. But it was very much like, yeah, as long as you show back up, this is your award. That's where I see the comparison. But congrats, Liam Hendricks. A, beating the fuck out of cancer. B, still being a really good pitcher. C, winning this award. Well deserved. But yeah, them trickling out these awards like an old man with prostate issues, like trying to take a leak at night, really fucking stinks. And free agency also I could tell Jeff Passan's fed up with it too, Because what was the signing he announced earlier? It was very funny. It was because it
Severino.
was no, it was a different one.
Oh, is it?
It was yeah. See, with Severino, he gave 2 tweets. That's very much like Shams. That's like Woj. That's Schefter. When a real human signs, you get 2 tweets. You get more than the 280 characters, however fucking many you get now. 3 hours ago, utility man Garrett Hampson and the Kansas City Royals are in agreement on a 1-year, $2 million contract. Like, you could tell he's like, just give me anything, any news at all. I don't even, Jeff Passan doesn't know who Garrett Hampson is, let alone me. Like, he's just like, please, can I tweet anything, any news at all?
I know who Garrett Hampson is, but I'm a sicko, so there's that. Didn't know, don't know where he was last, but he's here. He's in Kansas City, and Jeff Passan seemed very thrilled to tweet it.
I'm looking him up because I still don't know who it is.
He used to play for the Rockies. I don't know where he's been.
He seems like a Rocky ass name.
He used to play. I don't know where he's been from the Rockies to now, but I know he used to play for the Rockies.
He played for the Rockies from 18 to 22. Not a great time to get noticed if you're playing for the Rockies. And then he played for Miami last year.
Right.
A crisp 98 OPS plus. This is who Jeff Pat like. That doesn't even like. I'm trying to think. What's the NBA equivalent to that? Austin Rivers. Like, I don't.
Peyton Pritchard has signed.
No,
somewhere.
stop it. Stop.
Peyton Pritchard.
Pritchard's elite at one thing.
So is Garrett Hampson.
Is he? When you get called utility man, it means you're not elite at anything.
Oh, I mean, he has elite wheels.
Does he?
Yes.
He had 5 stolen bases last year.
You got to get on base to steal them. That's the problem. You got to get on base to steal him. He runs like the wind. He just never on base. You can't steal first.
He's a 349 OBP last year.
In how many games?
98.
All right. He's fast. Apparently he don't like stealing bases. Then never mind. I will walk back my commentary.
57 stolen bases career, 13 caught stealing. So he's fine.
Maybe that's not his jam. But if he stole 5 bases last year in 100 games, I don't know what the deal is with that.
In a year, or David Ortiz had stolen bases last year. Everyone was stealing bases last year.
Right.
They were giving away stolen bases.
None. Like, unless he was hurt, like, that's the only thing that makes sense. And even then, like, I don't know. That's weird.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. Don't mean to shit on him, but like, you can tell Passan's like, Passan may have orchestrated this deal just so he could tweet some news. He's like, you know what, Garrett, you're going to the Royals. Pack your fucking bags, pal. Like, are the Royals going to tell him no?
Listen, I'm tired of it just as much as he is, because we got the Yankees have reserved 18 for Yoshi Yamamoto, all for 2 years, and it's like, all right, here's the thing about that. Number one, who gives a flying fuck? If that is true, let's pretend it's true for the sake of point number one. Who cares? Is the money going to talk? If it will, he might be a Yankee. If it won't, he won't. Right? Number two, we know it's cap. Andrew Benintendi was on the damn team. He wore 18. They tried to extend him. I don't think they gave a great effort into trying to extend him, but they tried to extend him. They offered him a 3-year deal, if I'm not mistaken, to try and extend him. He wore 18. They did not withhold 18 on purpose. Knock it off. What are we doing?
It's not a super popular number here in the States. Over in Japan, it is
it's a big
number. Like, it is a big deal for them.
It's a big deal.
I don't think the Yankees were like 2 years out. Let's scout or let's hold this number. I don't think that's what. Who were the big free agent pitchers last year? I'm trying to think. Were there any?
Carlos Rodon.
Oh, Carlos Rodon. If Rodon was like, hey, I'll take 10 million less if I can keep 18, of course they're going to say yes. Of course.
I don't know. And the thing is, we were just talking about Severino and why homeboy would leak that he came late to the game. This is the little league I don't understand. The Yankees have had a lot of leaks over the last 3 years that I don't quite get. The worst of which, and I'm not going to go too far into this one, the worst of which being during the ALCS in 22, hitting us with the, you know what the Yankees are doing to prepare for trying to come back from 03? They're watching 2004 Red Sox film when they celebrated right across the street on Yankee soil after coming back from 03 down. And it's just, who are you trying to satisfy with this thing? Who was going to like this? Seriously, who besides Red Sox fans, who was going to like this? Yeah. Exactly. Who was going to like this? Because guess what? If you win, nobody gives a fuck that you was watching David Ortiz. Nobody cares. And if you lose, we're just going to laugh at you even more.
It was a lose-lose proposition from the start because either the Red Sox are the reason they won or they're the reason they lost 4 straight again. Like there was no win there. Like Aaron Boone is the perpetual gift that keeps on giving. There hasn't been a peep out of Hal considering changing either of those fucking jobs, Cashman or Boone. It's hard to feel like Soto changes things, of course. Do you think there's a world the Yankees would get Soto and Yamamoto in the same offseason? Because I don't see that shit at all.
There's always a chance when it's the Yankees because
George's Yankees.
Even Hal's Yankees, because, I mean, albeit a lot of it was ill spending, but the year that they got Ellsbury, they spent on a lot of different dudes, to be fair here. And also in 09, they did the same thing. So
09 they did. 09
it's always possible. I would bet against it. I think Soto and Bellinger is, quite frankly, more likely than Soto and Yamamoto, personally.
Sure, I think Bellinger is going to be cheaper than Yamamoto, right? So that tracks.
I think Soto and Bellinger would be more likely.
What's this outfield then? Soto plays left? Or is he DH?
Unfortunately. Yeah, Soto plays left, Cody plays center, Judge plays right, and then when Dominguez comes back, you figure it out at that point.
I was going to say, yeah, what's the unfortunate part there?
Oh, have you seen Soto play defense? Not that I care that much, but Soto in left field in the Yankee Stadium was a disaster when it happened. A disaster.
I feel like it gets outweighed by everything else.
Oh, that's why I said I don't care. I don't care. I do not. I'm not. I have never spent a minute of my life caring about Juan Soto's defense, and I would not start with him as a Yankee. But it would be bad. It would be scary hours in left field in Yankee Stadium for him. Now, I personally feel like, I don't know how realistic this is. I think a better alignment would be you give Aaron Judge left field and you let Soto take right. I think that would make way more sense. Yes. Because right field, you don't have to do nothing. Either the ball goes out the park or it falls in front of you. You don't do anything in right field in Yankee Stadium at all.
And Yankee Stadium, sure. And that's half the games. I understand this. Yeah. People will think this is incorrect. That's a majority of the games just because, yeah, sure, it's 81-81, but those other 81 aren't all in difficult right fields.
Yeah, right.
Fenway, you could not play Soto in right field. You could not.
Right.
Like, that would be
and like left
or left, maybe. Like, left might be a problem, too.
Yeah. Left is... You could hide him there, I think. Right? No, obviously. Left in Yankee Stadium is similar to right in Fenway. Like, not the same, not close to the same, but similar as in you want somebody who could cover some ground. And preferably you have two really good defensive outfielders. One is in center, one is in left. If you could get there. If Soto gotta play left, you gotta play left. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it, but it'd be bad out there if you had to play left.
So in 22, and this is from Baseball Reference, everyone seems to have different defensive run save stats. Every time I look at them, I'm just on Baseball Reference. Mm-hmm. In 22, they're saying he was +2 defensive runs saved. Last year, they're saying he was -6. Which is quite a range.
Yeah, Soto hasn't always been miserable in outfield. Like, there were a couple years where he was more or less either passable or slightly below average, and then there was last year where he was just a disaster for whatever the reasons. Don't know why he was. So, but like also Juan Soto is not exactly fleet of foot. So he's not fleet of foot, and he has bad defensive instincts. That's a disaster in left field. Now, he's going to put up a 150 WRC plus, and nobody will care. Well, at least I won't. I can't speak for anybody else. I will not care.
He had 12 stolen bases last year, so that's faster than fucking Wheels that Kansas City just signed.
Is he faster or is he more willing? There's a difference here. Why Garrett Hampson wasn't willing, we'll never know. You have to ask the man himself. I don't
I'm
know.
not convinced that's a real person. I have not seen the
Jeff
evidence.
has to just made somebody up so he can get
I
a tweet off.
He didn't know the Severino signing was coming. The guy was getting antsy. A fucking tree fell on him a couple months ago. He's probably perked up. And he's out there. He's just like, let me get something off here. Let me combine
You
some
just
names.
chomping at the
Garrett
bit to get
Stubbs.
something off.
Yeah, Garrett Stubbs, Mike Hampton. They could have had a son somewhere along the line. Garrett Hampson. Bang. We're here now. He signed with the Royals. No one's going to check me on this. It's the Royals signing a utility guy. No one gives a fuck.
I don't know what to say, man. That him having 5 stolen bases last year is legitimately shocking to me, based on what I knew about him as a prospect.
5 more than me.
They were talking about 80 grade speed, and this man stole 5 bases over 100 over 100 games in the most profitable stolen base year of all time.
Without a question.
The most profitable years, too. Like Juan Soto stole 12.
Who was the fucking center fielder for the A's that hit like 100 and still had 70 stolen bases?
Like 75 bases. His OBP was like 302, and he stole like 75 bases all the same. But he was like, "Hey man, I'm leaving here with something." Like, yeah, my OBP stinks, my BA stinks. I don't hit the ball out the park. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to steal these motherfucking base when I get on base, though.
I'm going to get on base once a series, and boy, am I going to cause some trouble out there once I finally get on. But yeah, that's why I was
pitching
upset.
out if that guy gets on base, but I can't. I can only speak for me.
That's why I was upset at Nola. Happy for the Phillies. Happy for Nola. Big fan of one team guys. I just prefer, if you're going to stay with one team, get that shit done in the middle of the season. Don't even hit free agency. Don't give me the false hope that news could be coming. Re-signing with the team is not national news. It's great for the Phillies. It's great for him. His family's set for generations. As a guy who's just waiting on some deals, it fucking stinks. It stinks out loud. Get that shit done in September. You don't need to do it now.
I more or less agree, and I'm just with the type of shit that we are reading because people are bored. It's like, please get us somewhere. Please, somebody big sign. Like Ohtani, do us a solid. Somebody, please do us a solid. Please.
Well, the winter meetings are around the corner. That typically pushes some deals across the table pretty quickly. Montgomery to Boston still feels like it's strong potential of happening, which will be helpful. I feel about that how you seem to feel about Bellinger. I won't be upset, but I'm not going to be popping bottles either. Like it's a big help to our rotation. It's not an ace, you know what I mean? It's helpful, no doubt. It's a guy we need, not an ace. We still need an ace after that. So if that comes after Yamamoto, or if it comes after some other move, a guy I'm very interested in. And I'm not big on trading for pitchers when there's so many available this offseason and next offseason. Like there's a lot of pitchers coming available. One guy I am pretty interested in, it's not Dylan Cease. Tyler Glasnow is unbelievable. Obviously injury prone. He's a guy I would love to have, like genuinely love to have. He is filthy. And if the Rays are really going to move him with 1 year left on his deal, he would have been a free agent this offseason. They tacked that year on for no fucking reason.
I don't know why they trade him. I saw the report. And I'm like, what? But I was like, what? They did this to themselves. Why are we in this situation?
If you get something back,
go ahead. I saw a fake trade that pissed me off. Yes, was it 2 days ago? Yeah, a fake trade, a mock trade. The Yankees trade Drew Thorpe, and I forget who the second prospect was, for Tyler Glasnow. And it's like, Tyler Glasnow is clearly good at throwing baseballs. Like zero command. He doesn't know where the ball's going. Neither do the batters. He has stuff. He has good enough stuff to make it fucking work. All right. Okay. But besides that man has never pitched more than 120 innings. You give Drew Thorpe to the Rays, and they gonna have that man throwing 100-mile-an-hour wiffle balls in 0 time prompt. No, no. And the last thing the Yankees need is another fucking injury-prone starter. Like they're thinking about bringing back Montas. They got Carlos Rodon, and you're talking about let's trade our best pitcher prospect for Tyler Glass now. No, good pitcher,
Trade,
but no. Yeah,
Trading with the Rays is always horrifying because it doesn't matter. Like the Tigers gave him like Isaac Paredes. They were like, this guy stinks. Go ahead. And then he's like, I'm gonna hit 30 home runs a year. It's like, what are you talking about? The Rays don't make any sense, so I get the hesitation there. I just think this is a guy, granted what you said's fair. He's not Captain Durable. When he's on the mound, he's as horrifying as any pitcher there is.
Yes, he is.
And because he only
yes,
has, it's not even just that he has 1 year. I think it's 1 year at like 20 mil. Yeah, $25 million. The Rays don't have a ton of leverage in this trade. Now, again, whoever they get, they will turn into an all-star. You have to accept that when you make the trade. But it's not someone who's going to become an all-star for you anyways. And it's not someone who has any value to any other team either. I think if you're talking about Dylan Cease, I don't think the White Sox are very smart front office, but I do think they look at prospect rankings and they're just going to ask for too much. You know what I mean? They don't know value. They don't know anything. So it's like,
the Dylan Cease thing is so obvious what's going to happen here. The Braves are going to trade like their 18th best prospect, the 22nd best prospect, and then they're going to make him a strike-throwing 2.3 ERA ass having pitcher. And that's how that's going to go and make the White Sox look stupider than they already always do look.
Yeah, that's the most likely outcome for sure. Burns, I think the Brewers will get fair value for Burns, and I think it'll be from the Mets. That's why it's like I don't even spend too much time thinking about that. Where the Brewers get interesting is if they're doing like a complete teardown rebuild, which they probably should. They non-tendered Woodruff, and I know he's hurt, but that was kind of surprising. Like they didn't want to just see if he gets healthy around the All-Star game, trade him at that. You know what I mean? It was just strange to me how that all went out.
I feel like that decision said everything about A, what his medicals probably are telling them, and B, what the league thinks about him. Because there's no way you're telling me you couldn't get something that you could actually use for Brandon Woodruff if his medicals weren't telling you like, yeah, this is bad. You know what I mean? So that was tough.
I don't know if the Brewers have doctors. I don't know that that's a thing.
I don't know if they have doctors as well. I don't know if they have doctors is really funny.
I don't know if I buy that. But if they are trading more than just Corbin Burns, like if they put a Freddie Peralta on the table, that's a guy I'd be interested
Freddie Peralta is very interesting. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say they signed him to a team-friendly deal. Like a couple years back. I think he must. I think he's on the hook for like $9 million a year for like the next 3. So they signed him to a very team friendly deal.
Freddie Peralta has he's signed through 2026. He's owed 5.7 next year, and then 8 and 8, both team options. So that's pretty good.
Okay, so apparently he had signed for 5 years for $15 million. That's what he signed. So, yeah. Also, I don't know if you saw, I forgot to send this to you, that they're trying to extend Jackson Trio. Not extend, sorry. They're trying to sign him to a long-term deal. Apparently, they're trying to sign him for somewhere between what Luis Robert got and like $100 million. So that's a lot of space. I don't know what that means, but that's what I read. So I think that's pretty interesting.
It's like 12. Robert got what, 88?
I thought it was less than that. I thought it was 50.
Was it?
I thought it was 50.
I thought that's why he wore 88, because it was his contract.
You might be right. I don't know why I thought it was 50. No,
it was 6 or 50.
Yeah. He's so somewhere between 50 and 100. Yeah, I see
so yeah,
why
that is a very wide range.
Like somewhere between 80 and 100, like that can only be but so many things. Yeah. No, but yeah, it's somewhere between those two, which I mean, it's interesting. The guy's only played 5 games in Double-A, so if you think he's ready, I mean, I hope hopefully for their own cause that they're right. But I feel like that tells you also like, hey, our other guys are kind of available. Hey, here we go.
Sure.
This guy isn't. Like we're building around this dude, but these other guys
Sure,
can be had.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I assume it's like him, Sal Frelick.
Yep,
I feel like they've got another young guy too.
Weimer.
Yeah,
Weimer.
yeah.
But
So it's like,
he's kind of like fake Joey Gallo. So you got he's one of those. He's an acquired taste. One of those, and he has a
sure,
rocket fucking arm. But yeah, he's Joey Gallo ish.
if they're going younger, and Peralta's only 27, so there's no reason to believe they're like itching to get rid of him.
Yeah,
But
especially considering they got them two cheap ass team options tacked on the end of the deal. So yeah,
hey,
I
8 million
don't
to our teams versus 8 million to the Brewers are not the same.
think
It's
so.
not the
Fair,
same eight
fair,
million.
fair.
Um, but Woodruff's a guy I'm not disinterested in, especially. We just did it with Paxton to mixed results, obviously. But
Right.
if it's a guy, if coming in, Breslow has at least 3 years. You know what I mean? They're not going to fire him after 1 year. So if you're looking at, all right, what's the long term sustainability of this? Can I get a number 3 next year, even if I just have him rehab this whole year? Can I get a number 3 for the cheap if I give him like a 3-year deal, knowing one of those years you're punting? I don't think it's the worst. It's not going to make anyone fucking excited around here. It can't be your first signing by any stretch.
Right. Right. That's true.
But
Right.
we also, let me pull up this guy's name because I do like what Craig's cooking a little bit. Obviously, haven't signed goddamn anybody yet, but we went down. Where was it, in Florida? To watch a Cuban pitcher who I believe was in Japan last year. And it's just like, I don't hate I don't hate that kind of thinking. Where the fuck is it? It's all I saw anyone tweeting about, and now I can't find anywhere. What was this guy's name? Here it is. I am not signing up for your website. Not happening. Yariel Rodriguez. And it was in the DR. It wasn't in Florida. So the Red Sox were one of 2 teams. The other team was the Padres that attended a private workout held by free agent right-hander Yariel Rodriguez. Apologies if I'm pronouncing his first name wrong. Feel like I nailed his last name. Rodriguez.
I hope so.
Rodriguez threw 2 innings for the Scouts. He turns 27 in March. He pitched, I believe he pitched in the World Baseball. Yeah, he pitched in the World Baseball Classic, starting for Cuba in 2 games. Sat out the 2023 season. He did pitch 3 years in Japan, posting a 3.03 ERA and 188 strikeouts and 175 in the third innings. So it's a guy who I believe can touch upper 90s with his fastball. Yeah, 94 to 98 fastball, multiple off-speed pitches. If the whole reason you brought in Craig Breslow and Andrew Bailey was you're going to revamp all the pitching, these are the types of guys they should be really making their nut off of, because I cannot imagine this person cost any money. You know what I mean? They've got one other team bidding for his services, and it's a team that's begging someone to come they're taking up PPP loans to pay the current people they have. This is the kind of guy, I don't think, based off everything I've read from Cotillo, Red Sox stats, people like that, this does not seem like someone who's going to start games in the major leagues ever. Does not seem like he has that kind of makeup. But if you could turn someone like this into a high leverage reliever for the cheap for the next 4 or 5 years, this is where Andrew Bailey and Craig Breslow really should be making their name. Finding guys from all corners of the world who have talent in their arms that have been either misused or overlooked. I'm not talking about Moneyball with fucking underthrowing Chad Bradford. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about legitimate guys who just had to defect and go to Japan for a little bit.
We're
Stuff
not
like
going to
that.
call Chad Bradford illegitimate. Illegitimate. Wow. Illegitimate.
I will not
Excuse
call him
me.
that. You're right. I definitely will not.
Illegitimate. Excuse me. Illegitimate is crazy. Illegitimate. We're not going to do that. We don't have to do that. We're not going to disrespect Chad Bradford.
I'm more talking about the process in which they tried to sell people with that Hollywood.
I know you are. I just want to take a fake stand for something. So, keep going.
Now, MLB Trade Rumors is projecting him to get 4 for 32, which is a tremendous amount of money for a guy who's never pitched in the majors before. But again, if you're telling me this guy can be a high leverage reliever at minimum, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And again, if you're only bidding against the Padres, I don't know why it would be that high.
Fair point. Fair point. Because the Padres can't pay nobody right now, so I don't know who is this bidding. Who's this bidding war? Who are they engaging with in a bidding war? Because the Padres ain't got none. Their funds are on low. So who are we bidding against? Who are they bidding against? Excuse me.
So earlier this month, I should have just read more. Earlier this month, it was reported that Rodriguez had thrown for multiple teams up to 10, including the Yankees, Blue Jays, Astros, and Dodgers. And them, along with the Red Sox, are the strongest candidates to sign him. So all of the smart teams are in on this guy. The Pirates weren't there. The Pirates didn't show up.
Shocker.
Industry experts project Rodriguez to command a multi-year deal in the $40 to $70 million range. So much like Jackson Churio, this guy's going to get somewhere between $1 and $100 million. Somewhere in that range is unknown.
lot of space to cover here. It could be anything.
I'm all in on him. I'm all in.
It could be anything.
He could be anything. He's going to be I've spent all this time saying he's going to be like an 8th inning guy, and he's going to win like the Cy Young next year as an ace. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm really just waiting for the offseason to start because it has been brutal, absolutely brutal,
dude. I know the further we go along and nobody signs, it's gonna sound like I hate Cody Bellinger. I just want to get it all out the way. It's gonna sound like I hate Cody. I don't have no problem with Cody Bellinger. The conversation is making me want to run into a wall head first over and over until I can't fucking see or read anymore. That's all I am saying. I don't have a problem with the player. At the right price, I would be fine, more than fine with it, because the glove is the glove and all of that. But man, if I got to read one more, like, oh, how could we dismiss 4 years ago? We only talk about the last 3 and from the same people who bitch about injuries. It's just, I don't know, man. I can't do it. Just sign somewhere, even if it's the Yankees. Just sign somewhere, Cody. Like, save us, save me. Sign somewhere. If it's the Yankees, okay, you're gonna sign here, and the talk will dissipate within a couple of days, and we move on. The more this drags out, and it's gonna drag out because Boris is his agent. And I don't think anybody's running around with a blank check for Cody Bellinger right now. So they're going to wait it out, and through all things, through Scott Boras, all things are possible. So he's going to end up getting way more than any of us thought, and that's going to happen maybe in January, maybe in February, shit, maybe a day before fucking spring training. We don't know, but
no,
the conversation is, yeah.
I don't think Boris knows how to play the market better than anyone and get his guy the best deal. I think the longer it lasts for Cody Bellinger, the more likely he gets another 1-year deal. I think if it ends if it's February, I don't think he's getting 6-1.
That's fair. Because
I think
why would you wait that long to sign Cody Bellinger? That's fair.
Right.
That's fair.
Like I think he knows the market better than anyone. If someone comes with like a Padres type offer, he's going to tell them to take it. He's not going to be like, oh, we can get more from this other team. He's going to be like, no, this is more than we should be getting. We're going to take this. So by the time people see this, it'll be November 30th. The winter meetings are December 3rd through 6th. So that's next week, or this weekend, rather. It's not even next week. So that is when If the winter meetings happen and nobody signs, that would be genuinely shocking. I don't think that's ever happened.
I mean,
Like,
I fully expect Juan Soto to be a Yankee by the time the winter meetings are over.
well,
So
I don't know about all that, but
I fully expect it. I think you should embrace inevitability.
who's the next big name to sign? And I'll read off. Let me pull up the Athletic list of rankings just so I can give the big names. I don't want you to say Cody Bellinger, even though I do. He will be one of the names I say. He's 1,000% one of the 10.
Yeah.
So their top 40 is Shohei Ohtani. Nola already signed, so he's not in. Yamamoto, who gave out a very strong list of like not demands, but like his schedule. He's of how everything's going to happen. He's going to hear offers. He's going to narrow it down. He's going to visit the teams he narrowed down, and then make a final decision. I believe around Christmas. So
I
that
appreciate the organization. I appreciate it.
sure. That's better. The rest of these guys who fucking knows. So
Right.
Ohtani, Bellinger, Snell, Montgomery, Chapman, Eddie Rodriguez. Man, it falls off a cliff after that.
Yeah, I don't think we need to mention nobody else. We good.
I'll toss Hoskins on there.
Okay. Who do I think is the next to sign?
Yeah.
One of the left-handed pitchers. Give me Montgomery or Snell. I think one of them sign next. If I had to bet on one of them, probably Montgomery. I think Montgomery signs next.
I think I'm going to stick with the left-handed pitchers, but I'm going to say Eddie. I think he wants to
That's fair.
set the market. I don't think he wants to be.
I keep seeing people link him to the Dodgers. I'm like, did you guys not remember what happened last year? Like, what would have changed?
I mean, from what I've heard, he just wanted more money from the Dodgers, and they were like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh, is that what it was?
That's what I've heard.
Oh, from what I heard, he just didn't want to relocate to that.
Well, that's what he said.
Okay, yeah.
That's what his agent said.
Right. Okay.
He was trying to get a little bit more, which I don't even know was legal. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm confused. I'm like, get him more. Like what? Mid-season? What do you mean get more?
I don't know if that's a thing, but I wouldn't be shocked if he signed pretty quickly, and then Montgomery and Snell come right after that. But I do think there will be a run on pitchers, and then like Matt Chapman will pop up somewhere in the middle there.
Those are the names I had in mind. I had the pitchers in mind. I'm not Eddie, but I had the two pitchers in Chapman in mind. Those were the first three that came to mind as who's going to sign. I wouldn't be surprised. Matt Chapman signed some 5-year for 120 contract somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised. Hopefully it's not Boston because I don't want you to get what you want. So hopefully it's not them.
I don't even know what I want anymore. I just want someone to fucking sign somewhere. Real human beings, not these made up fucking guys. Jeff Passan,
creative players.
Yeah, he's playing MLB The Show and he's in year 2050. He's like, oh man, these are not the signings I crave.
Garrett Hampson's caused so much heat on this show. And probably for the first and last time. It's great.
If his name ever comes up again, it's because he physically threatened me after hearing the disrespect. And again, I don't mean any like you play for the Rockies and the Marlins, my guy. It's not my fault. Like this is not my fault.
Damn, it's tough. He's saying all this, by the way, not me. In case Garrett sees this, I was defending you, sir.
He's a big fan. I know he's constantly.
I was defending you, sir. If some Rockies fan watches this and knows him,
I don't even think you know who he was. You were like, this guy steals 60 bags a year. Like you were.
Listen, I was very wrong on his skill set, clearly, but I knew who he was, and I knew that Fangraphs told me he had 80 grade speed or whatever the fuck it was. I knew he was. Him just being too scared to steal bases is not my fault. I didn't do that.
I haven't even said that. I just said I don't know the fucking guy. You're the one calling him fat piece of shit all of a sudden.
Whoa. Where did I mention his weight?
He's too busy eating Twinkies and Ho-Hos to swipe seconds.
I didn't mention his weight. I said he's too scared to steal bases. That's what I said. I didn't say nothing about his weight.
I don't even think he's fat. I just think...
I know he's not. So I don't know. I didn't call him fat. I didn't say he's too scared to steal bases. He needs to fix
he's a good-looking kid. I'll give him that. He's a good-looking kid.
Just not very good at his job.
He's not good at being known. I don't know what to tell you.
Leave that man alone, bro. What did he do to
I
you?
want to. Yeah, this is all Passan's fault. If Passan wasn't so news hungry, my life wouldn't have changed. I still wouldn't know who this fucking guy is. He would have. It just wouldn't have happened.
How we blaming Jeff for this, man? He didn't do nothing. He did his job.
He tweeted it.
He did his job.
Him signing's not even one of the top 3 headlines that comes up on Google when you Google his name.
Nobody knows that he signed.
It's not something anyone's particularly interested in.
That's really funny. That's not one of the top 3 results. Because like, what are the top 3 results with that dude? That's the funny part about it.
It's so I scrolled down a little and MLB.com's headline is Royals signed speedy utility man Hampson to 1-year deal. What are you guys basing this off of?
The same thing I was basing it off of, bro. His fucking Fangraphs player card. He don't steal no bases, but he's fast though. He can run. He just don't steal no bases. What's he fast for then? But whatever. He just don't steal no bases, man. He covers a lot of ground in the outfield. That's what it's good for. That's what
he must. This guy fucking is zipping the fly balls.
Yeah.
Like nobody's business.
Great defense. Great ability to cover ground. Just don't ask him to steal no bases.
No, he's got nothing for you there.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Listen, the winner may. I'm checking these dates. When is the 3rd to the 6th? All right, good. So the 6th is next Wednesday. So we will have news.
Juan Soto will be a Yankee by Wednesday.
That is not the news.
Juan Soto will be a Yankee by Wednesday, and mark it down.
We'll see everybody next Thursday. We'll record next Wednesday. And we'll go over the actual things that have finally fucking happened. Jorge Soler will probably be somewhere. Some fun names will have gone places. Probably
Juan
a couple
Soto will be a Yankee.
trades.
You know.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen. You'll see.
You're going to enjoy Cody Bellinger. I'll get you the jersey. Until then, we'll see everybody next week.